Welcome, everybody. This is Laura Hendrickson from Open Ocean Marketing and Graphics. Today, I have Viplove Bhojwani from MarketSquad. Welcome,
Hi,
Viplove.
Laura. Thanks for bringing me in. I'm
Yeah,
really honored.
very good. So we're going to go ahead and get started on our interview today, and just want to start with really kind of where you had your biggest first win, your sense of success, where you really enjoyed seeing this marketing and online marketing and how successful it can really be.
Now, again, that question would really be very different for me in that case because I was back in college when it really started. So I had this. My dad actually have this friend, a CEO friend. He's very famous, and also he was making something at that time, and it was quite interesting. It was a side project, and he was trying to do it. He showed it to me and said, "Do you want to give a shot at it?" I thought, why not? I'm like free. It's summer breaks. I'm enjoying. So, but then what happened is, uh, I was 19 at that point of time, and that business plan and marketing was so amazing. Everybody loved it so much. I don't know what had happened. Somehow I was managed to get a lot of traffic. That was the first I think episode where I loved, or I thought that I have got passion for marketing, or I would say natural innate talent for me. So that was my first breakthrough. And since then, I think I have been here and there. But then when I got into marketing in 2014, I think I always loved it, and till now I'm loving it. And now I'm part of MarketSquads as a marketing director and helping a lot of people grow their businesses. Yeah, it's fine so far. And COVID, yeah, it's making a lot of people in a very difficult pickle, I would say. So we're trying to help them out and get them out of that pickle, and still try to make them run their business smoothly in a very different settings altogether. So I think.
Yeah. So when you're taking on a client, what's probably the first thing that you kind of take a look at in regards to, is this part? I know we've gone over a lot of different things in funnels with all of our experts, but when you take a look at kind of what's the first thing you really like to make sure that it's working well?
I make sure that this is not a startup which I'm going to work with. I literally don't like a lot of startups, and there is a reason for that. See, as a marketer, when you go and try to get information for your clients, okay, you need numbers. You need There's some sort of research out there. You need concrete numbers. You want to know their sales number. You know where they are lacking, and most importantly, their product. Do people love their product or not? I mean, in a startup, you all have blinkers, and you don't know whether it's good or bad. It's just because your gut, your will, and you're like, oh, this is my product. It's the best in the world. It's the next, or it's the best product since the sliced bread. It's the best. So the ego comes in place. But I don't want their emotions to take over when it comes to business. The most important thing is you have to know your numbers. You at least have to gain some sort of credibility. So when somebody's starting out, you know back from square one, I don't take those clients. So first we see all the numbers, see all the information. Is the product good? Because if the product is not good, no matter how good we make sales funnels or advertising, it's not going to work for them at all. So I try to get away from them. Then I look at it and I see what is actually the problem in their funnel. For example, somebody's coming and he's getting enough traffic. Okay, getting traffic is not a big thing. They're getting traffic, but suddenly they see there is a certain drop in their sales. So we try to fix those things, that whether we can do it or not. And the third thing is, do the clients have got big belly for ads? Because if they are relying on free and untargeted traffic, I'm sorry, MarketSquads is not going to help you with that. Because if you want real good marketing, you need to spend money to get those good customers into the funnel. And for that, you have to literally have to pay to get that sort of clients, and I want them. And so these are the three basic criteria which we see. And once we see that they have got decent product, they have got decent things, and There is some kinks which we can solve, some problems in the equation, we can put our X and Y's and we can move forward. Yeah, that is what we want. So, and the third is, are they going to sustain, or do they have the belly to spend on ads? So these are the three things which we see, and then from there on, we proceed and try to give them what we want.
Yeah, excellent. With those numbers, obviously you're going to know exactly who their target market is. And are there any tools that you use to really identify the audience or what those pain problems are, like to when you're creating the headlines, when you're developing out that funnel, really taking a look at the audience and how to engage them and how to have those call to actions or those headlines that really convert? What sort of things do you use tools wise because of the knowledge you have? What are some tactics that you use?
Now, let's see it from a very professional standpoint. How do we do it? Now, the first point is very clear. With these numbers, we see the credibility of the company and the products. It's not about that. Now, when a decent company comes to us, it means that they have already figured out the people they are targeting. Now, the problem is, obviously there are different tools, and I can give you a couple of tools which we use if people don't know. But usually when you don't know, that's when the biggest problem is, because creating a product is not a big thing. But first, the flow is different. You have to first create the target audience. How do you do it? We are not going to do it for you, but we're going to tell you how you can do it. First is make a buyer's persona by HubSpot. It's a free tool, a very free tool. It's pretty much, you can get 3 personas right on, and they're going to ask you those very easy questions. And those questions, see, people say that these are easy questions and it's not going to be effective. But to tell you the truth, the most fundamental questions are the ones gives you best results. But leave that. So that's one thing. The second is what we typically called empathy maps, which you can use in order to get some sense of what exactly your buyer persona look like or feels like. So these are the two tools when it comes to, or as a startup or as a entrepreneur, when you're pursuing your dream. I think these are the two things you have to start with. Now, with that, I'm not saying that we're going to sense about it, because it's your job to figure out your persona is. Now we look at the problems. Now you bring those personas to us. We'll feel, or we'll figure out exactly what are the problems of these buyers persona. Maybe you're thinking that problem A is their problem, but that problem A was their problem when you started that business. Now it's not their problem. The problem is something A, B, C, or Z altogether. You don't know that. So we'll do, and because we have amazing experts, research experts, so what they do is they keep learning about the persona in the real time. Constantly they'll be searching about it. Every 7 days they're going to go and see what they're searching for. They're going to go to Google Trends, they're going to go different Facebook groups, they're going to go to Slack groups, what they're talking about. It's not about one problem, it's all about being relevant. Most people are not relevant, and what I've seen, most people are not relevant. They think that there was this problem which we are solving, but what about now? Now, for example, you have laid out a plan in 2019, but 2020 has completely changed the dynamics of your business.
Yes,
Now,
everybody's shifting.
yeah, so if you're not relevant, you're gone. And to tell you the truth, I I talk to my clients directly. I don't mince my words. I just say what it is, because at the end of the day, if I'm giving them value by telling them the truth, they're going to stay with me. My retainers are going to rise. I'm just not going to give or show them stars and moons and say, okay, this is something we're going to do. No, 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 no. What is possible? What is possible? We're going to tell you the realistic numbers. We'll tell you exactly what we can do. So, I mean, hope I answered that question.
Yeah, of course. And I think the more that we get into marketing and having our companies, oftentimes we look at wanting to serve more people, but always seem to be encouraged to niche into something a little more specific.
Now,
So,
now, now, just to add a little bit to give as much as value to the audience. Okay. Now you have your buyer persona. Okay. But what people see is that when they create buyer persona, they think it like a very generic buyer persona, that this is XYZ sort of clients which we are going to serve. But the thing is, you need to also look at your product. what are the problems which you can solve. And not only that, you have to add 3 points of possible objections they can have about your own product.
Yeah.
Because people will have objections, and it's the art of looping which will make you again loop those objections, come back again, try to sell them. So it's kind of in circles.
Mhm.
So make sure that this is the most important component which is not missing. It's missing in most of the strategies. Sooner or later, luckily our clients come to us, and there are only, I would consider, 10% of the agencies, including yours, are good ones, and 90% of the agencies don't know this stuff.
Mhm.
So that's why people say that marketing doesn't work, marketing doesn't work. This is something, it's not true. It's all about the basics. So I think we have added enough value in this aspect.
Mhm. Thank you. Well, and I guess I want to bring that into focus in the sense of when you're on a home page versus, or a website versus creating landing pages. There's a lot of people out there that have their websites more of a educational, informational platform with integrating landing pages. Sometimes those landing pages are actually part of a different platform, whether that's ClickFunnels or Lead
ClickFunnels.
Pages, sure. But do you try as much as possible to integrate the website with the landing pages and link to them, or is it strictly no, that landing page is specific to this particular campaign and this ads and these things like this? So do you have a tendency to integrate that, or do you focus more on a campaign and focus on some specific funnel?
Okay. Now, when we talk about first landing pages and websites, they're pretty much different altogether. Now, why? Because there are a lot of call to actions on a website compared to one simple call to action on what? A landing page. Now, landing pages are made just specific to take a certain, or to make your audience take a certain action. Very simple. Now, when it comes to integrating, obviously you should integrate with your websites. Obviously, you're not going to show it on your menu bar, but what we have seen typically, especially in e-commerce website, for example, somebody came to my landing page for the first time. Now he likes the product, he likes the offer at the moment, but he's not sure about the company. So what they do is they go to the homepage, try to figure out that what this company is all, because they have to build that sort of trust. So obviously integrating both of them with the domain specifically we are talking about is the most important thing. Now, landing pages, I just don't want to laugh, but most of the people make wrong landing pages. Now, there are key essential components which are missing, and I don't know why people do that. Let me tell you one thing. When it comes to landing pages, there is a certain action threshold for every buyer. Every buyer needs to be satisfied with few certain key principles before pitching them for sales. And I don't know why people make that mistake, but we might talk about, because this is all about funnel, so we may touch upon these things in this session later on. So yeah, integrating them. Yeah, see, people buy from brands. If you're not really making a brand and trying to make a quick sale, nothing is going to happen, no matter how good your funnel is, no matter how good everything is. People want to do business who they can trust. And if the brand is not trustworthy, make sure you can see a massive drop in their sales incoming. So we do these exercises all the time when we see the product is good, offering is good, but people are still not buying. Their funnels are fixed. So what we do is we try to make sure that how we can get their brand image right in front of people. So I had someone on my own YouTube channel, a very great brand expert, and she actually touched upon this sort of aspect, that how they can make the image or revive the image better. So this is very important.
Okay, I would love to talk about this in regards to, really converting and building that trust. And you talk about certain components that are just an absolute necessity on a landing page. So
Exactly.
why don't you go ahead and run through those for us?
Okay, very simple. Now, first things first, you need to make sure that you have a strong hook on a landing page. If the hook is not interesting, I'm not going to stick on that landing page and I will bounce back. Very simple, very easy. That's why most of the landing pages have got higher bounce rates. Hook is like one line where it explains. It's kind of a headline. It should really be attractive. For example, if I am doing personal finance, sort of, I'm promoting something related to personal finance. So my hook could be like how I saved 100,000 in last year by doing this simple trick. So it's kind of a hook. It makes you stick. So the important thing is don't underestimate your hook. So hook is very important. You have to work on it. You have to, because most of the people only going to read your headlines. They're not going to move forward to that. That headline is the most important component. They're going to stick with that. So that hook is very important. The second is story. Now, if you're not telling a story, if you're not telling them, because you have to resonate with them. If you're not resonating with them, the character is not resonating with them, they're not going to buy, because we buy actually. If you see, we buy with people we would like to be or have gone through the same experience as we have been. People want that sort of story, that how that guy similar to me in my own conditions, or maybe similar to my conditions at the moment, has been able to get to this step or this life altogether. So stories is something. So we all remember all the stories. Okay, we remember all the stories which we have learned or read in our school times. We all remember that, and stories have these power. Now there are two important components which are missing. One is the logical case. People really don't talk about logic. I mean, you have to put those logic in place. Why your product is worth buying now. This is a very important one. Why it's worth buying now, not tomorrow, not day after tomorrow, not next month, next year. Why it's now? Why it's so relevant now? It's the logical case. The second is emotional case. People actually buy with emotions, but then they satisfy their buying with logics. So you should have to box them in with emotions as well. You have to make sure that it's there.
Hmm.
Now, other than that, there needs to be a call to action. Obviously, that's you don't have to be a rocket scientist to put a relevant call to action. But there is one important takeaway which I am giving exclusively on this interview, and just for Laura, your viewers, is that increasing the value. How you can look or make, or I would say increase the value of a certain offerings. For example, I'm selling something of worth $10. Very simple, $10, but still people don't want to buy $10 stuff from me. Why? Because they don't see value in it. Okay, fair enough. You have to make your product look like that it's not $10, it's $100. Okay, it's $100 worth. So you want to add everything out. You want to make them feel that if they are buying this stuff, they're buying $100 stuff just for $10. You have to increase the value. And then possible objections. Figure out. I mean, you know your buyer persona. You should understand that what possible objections, despite you wrote everything that could be amazing, can be very luring. You have hired best copywriters, but still they have objections. Fair enough. Think of those three top objections, what those three top objections could be, and give those answers in kind of a FAQ form, somewhere like that. Because people, again, you're looping them. We're talking about the looping stuff. That's so beautiful. When we loop and we retarget, I love it. I mean, that's the best thing can possibly happen. And I enjoy looping and retargeting. The last component would be customer reviews. Now, people want to have social proof of something. If you're not putting social proof, chances are they are going to bounce again. That's what we talked about. So the goal is to keep them there for more than 1 minute, because if they are there for more than 60 seconds, they are going to stick there. They're going to take the possible or the best call to action you want them to. And eventually, or I would say, hopefully, they will complete the sales funnel altogether.
Awesome. Very good. Well, I want to go back to that hook because I want to know from your experience, you've got this kind of curious type of headline making people want to know more. How would you say that compares to something where you really hit them with the pain? Like, are you suffering and dealing with this specific pain? Does it really depend on the industry, or do you feel like one kind of trumps the other when it comes to doing a good headline? Do you do A/B testing, or what do you like to do with that headline piece?
I love playing with headlines more. So when it comes to even our SEO projects, my main interaction with my team is all about headlines. So I rarely read articles. So I am all about, what you have written. So my job is to get those luring headlines. This is how we have been increasing traffic for paid campaigns, even for SEO campaigns. So I work on headlines more. Now, it should have the pain point, obviously. If you're not pitching or if you're not talking about the pain points, it's not worth it. When we just talked about that example, how I saved my money, or I saved my 100,000 last year. I mean, that is talking about a pain point in a way. Now, savings is a big pain point, and you need excellent copywriters. You need excellent copywriters. You have to pay them a lot. You have to get the best ones out there. And I don't want the viewers to go for even the second best. Second best is worst. Just don't go for second best. Good copywriters charge enough money, give them, because it's worth it. We have a specific team, and there's one or two people all the time who are just working on headlines. And when they are off projects, I ask them just to write random headlines, just random ones. Just follow some principles that it should be luring enough, actually make more sense, obviously targeting the pain points. So I just want them. So we I wish it was not about our lockdowns, but I wish I could have shown you my offices. So where we have these black completely white boards, and we just write headlines all the time. So when we are doing ad campaigns, so we just now we are doing it in our notebooks, and we are sharing it, because I like, to hold pen and do things rather than more about, doing. So what we do is we write a lot of stuff. I like personally writing. So when I also sit and make these funnels, before going anywhere, I sit and draw these diagrams in a whiteboard or something like that. Sometimes now it's my diaries are pretty handy. I would love to show that to you, but that diary is it's quite missing at the moment. But the problem with most of the people is the strategy is missing with that. Strategy and practice. Strategize and practice more and more.
Yeah, and I think there are a few people I've talked to that actually have somewhat of a formula that they use, whether it's 3, 5, 7 tips, or, the how to, or the urgency of now, fast. These some words specifically can,
Our words, yeah.
yeah. So
No,
there's,
I won't say it's a formula, but it's kind of a checklist.
mhm.
Okay, it's kind of a checklist, and it's very good because when you do it, we do have a checklist as well. So it's when somebody writes an article and MarketSquads, we give them a checklist, and we have a checklist from this amazing website called Copy Bloggers. Everybody has heard about copy bloggers. They're the best copywriters. So one day I was sitting and saw this checklist, because these checklists are very important. uh, it gives you a structure. See, thinking is good, but you need structure in your thinking. Strategy is all good, but if there's no structure, there are no ends. You have to cover every corner. How do you want to do it? By having a checklist. For example, I have to reach from one place to the other, and my mother said to buy all these stuff. So if I don't have a checklist, I might do my job well, but I miss out on few things which could have made my process more effective. Same way, you guys have to do that. You have to have a checklist. I don't call that a formula. I mean, that's not a formula, obviously. Copywriting psychology is not a formula. It's a good checklist, good to have a checklist, and you have to have those components in place. So yes, if you guys want, we can give Laura our checklist, and she can give you in the, and it's obviously taken from Copy Blogger, and we have customized it according to what we do it, but it's a good start. Even you guys can go to Copy Bloggers, and I think at that point of time it costed me about $7, so it's quite cheap.
Oh, that's great. That's a fun tip for everybody, for sure. And
Yes,
I
it
think,
actually.
I think that's part of this process of understanding what online marketing is, that there are the different aspects to online marketing, and really kind of which hat as a business owner you want to really master yourself, but then almost build your team around that or hire people out to do it. So it just depends on where you're at in business as far as what hat you're going to wear in this marketing functionality, and then really understanding those different components to say, okay, well, the team I'm going to hire, do they have the other people that are important, so to speak?
Exactly.
So that's good. You've discussed at MarketSquad, you have 6 stages of the buyer's journey. So let's just go through that for a minute and just touch on that, because I think that's a little bit unique.
I would like to show a diagram which we use. I'll share my screen, so it's
Sure.
going to make more sense for all of us.
Great.
Can you see the screen?
Yes.
So this is kind of a customer journey which we typically do. So not 6 steps, but 5 steps. So now let's understand it logically. Now it's quite simple. Now people make, or and especially marketers, I would say, marketers makes things very complex so that they can sell. But it's not that complex. Customer journey is pretty much the way we buy things online. For example, let's talk about the awareness stage here. When you have some problem, for example, back pain, you're not aware about the solution, but you just know that you have a problem. That's called awareness stage, where you're not remotely available or aware about the solution itself, but you know that you have a problem. So what do you do in that stage? You go to Google and type, okay, I do have this problem. Okay, and they say yes, I do. Then start googling it, they start reading the blogs, they see some ads also, but then first they, before buying anything, they first try to know their problem itself. So that's this awareness stage. Then it's about the interest stage. They're pretty much aware about their problem. They have figured it out that this is my problem. Now they, in this stage, they are trying to find out possible solutions for their problem. For example, product A, B, C, and D. Okay, but still they are not ready to buy at this moment. In the third stage, they are ready to buy it. They have drawn pros and cons for all the possible solution, and they have pretty much made their mind that this is what I am going to do. In the fourth stage is the action stage, okay, where they actually buy that stuff or they actually sign up for their service. The fifth stage is post action stage, where it's all about getting those people who are your customers to the next level. And what about next level? It's not about just a referral program altogether. It's about giving them enough value. For example, you are about to launch a course, right? What could be the possible next step you can give your customers? Let's just talk about it. For example, it's going to make more sense for the audience. For example, with this summit, okay, and
Sure.
we will be talking very logical. It's going to happen. Is going to happen. So this summit, people came to you, you built up a great marketing list.
Right.
We all are aware, we 21 are the top marketers, we know that what's going to happen. Okay, you'll be building up a list, and that's kind of a free offer, right? There is no charge for that.
Right.
And this is how it needs to be done, because if we are giving you value as marketers also, we don't have to say that if you're going to charge some sort of money and it's going to be a big fat fees, you have to worry about it. We're giving you value at the end of the day, so we can charge a lot of money if we're giving value. The second step possibly could be Laura launching her own course with all the experience, or maybe writing a book which may cost you about $10, or maybe free book with shipping cost. That's how usually people do. Possibly where she will write everything what in those 21 interviews she thinks, and then her own version of the specific person altogether, and so on and so forth. Then with that, she can launch a premium course. Okay, now these 4 stages, when we saw all the 4 stages, you got the customer in, you have acquired the customer. But then the post action is very important, where you are upselling these people.
Sure. And
You're
what
upselling
offered.
people and increasing the value. It's not just you have to sell one thing, you have to sell them multiple things, because they have bought one thing from you, so they are ready to buy more from you. So it's very logical, and you should do it. If you're not doing it, I really would suggest you to do it, because it's more because you're providing value at the end of the day. People
Right.
think that when we are charging something, that's something we shouldn't, because we just gave them something for free. No, it's not that. We gave something for you for valuable for free. Now it's time to add something to the current value proposition, and then there is a price to it, because yes, there is ad cost involved, there is creation production cost involved, software cost involved. There's so many things. You're bringing so many experts, writing books, time is involved, and so on and so forth. So now with this customer typical journey, we understood how it's going to work for them. Okay, so yeah, hopefully
Awesome.
this example is going to make them clear that what exactly I'm talking about.
Right. And I believe that there's definite paths for people that are coaches, consultants, experts versus the e-commerce side of things versus people that are producing products and services that are more technical oriented, or they have to have group meetings and group discussions on how that all works and puts together. But for this group specifically, I'm developing a scenario where they can really grow, and whether that's growing through, what is the most effective way to build that awareness. And we can go into ads, we can go into content strategy, we can do where we're leveraging other influencers, things like this. But in your experience building up that awareness piece,
Mhm.
what would you say are some really
Now,
great
now when we see
strategies around that?
this awareness stage, obviously, when somebody is in just the awareness stage, which is the first stage which we see on the screen at the moment, it's just not worth to put money in ads. It's not worth it, okay? Because they are not in state of buying. They are in state of learning about their own problem. So obviously, in this stage, it's best to get blogs, use right SEO, and it's going to build over time. Okay. When it comes to the interest and desire stage, there you should put your money in ads. Okay. Obviously, in the action stage, upselling them when they are buying from you for the first time. When it comes to the post action stage, that's where you don't have to spend money because you already have their emails. And the only cost which is going to involve, it's going to be your marketing software. Maybe it's ClickFunnels, or maybe it's GetResponse, which we use. Maybe it's HubSpot. It could be any one out of there. So but the important thing is that in the first stage you should really go towards SEO and blogs. Okay, writing more about the problems. But in interest and desire stage, where they're looking for the solution, because they're already aware about the problem. So if they're aware about the problem, they are ready to take action. So your job is to invest heavily in ads in these stages, interest and desire stage. You have to invest a lot. And if you're investing more to acquire customer, then you are likely to win the competition. Now, we will also talk about how you can save a lot of money and increase your profits. Also, this is what we do at MarketSquads. It's going to be so amazing that you guys will be giving me a lot of calls. Now, yeah. So typically, what happens when you run ads? People get these. People have this fear always. All my initial startups, and I wouldn't say startups because they are completely, they are in a stage where they have done something, they're not doing well, or they want to grow. So they come to me and they say that, okay, we want to run ads, but we have this fear that we might lose a lot of money, because first they're giving us a lot of money, thousands of dollars for marketing retainers, obviously, and then in the second stage they have to pay for ads. So it's from their perspective, it's like too much money. So I make them understand one thing, that this is just not about the expense, it's about the cash outlay, it's the investment what you're making now. So there is this e-commerce store which I'm currently working with. So he came to me and said, I don't want to run ads, it's so expensive for me. And said, okay, what if I can increase your profits? He said, can you do it? I'm just making 20% of this. So I said, what if I can increase your 20% to 40%, and then you'll be making more money, so you can actually invest more in ads? He says, makes sense. what's your strategy? So I said, so he is selling phones, okay? So he's selling second-hand phones, iPhones specifically, okay? So he's great with that aspect. So he's selling those things in a very specific country, which is called United Arab Emirates. So, I'm giving you examples because examples makes you learn better, and obviously you can replicate my strategy. And so he's selling iPhones, okay? So once people come in, they buy iPhone for let's say 1200 or 1300 AED, which is the dirhams. They buy it and they say, so he's making 20% profit on that. But what if I say that, why don't you give them those accessories as well? Upsell them, okay? Because on accessories, you have huge margins. So he said, okay, fine. I'll add that one as well. In the third stage, what I told him, you are giving 3 months warranty. Why don't you add a cost of extending the warranty? So, for example, he was making 20%, now he's making 40%. And for him, the customer cart value, okay, has increased. So it's just not about making that first dollar. It's about how you can get those customers buy more and more.
Mhm.
Now that's the spot people miss it. Even with people, a lot of knowledge with funnels, they miss that sweet spot. Now, because if you're making more money, you can bid higher, you have bigger and fattier budgets compared to your competition, so you can spend more, you can acquire more customers, and your customers does not have the smart strategy. What he's going to do, he's going to pull the plug when it comes to ads. He said it's too expensive because we are in negative ROI. You just have to use your brain and it'll be there.
That is the trick, really. It's being able to know and get creative when it comes to selling the product, being able to
Exactly.
upsell the customers that you have, creating that loyalty, creating the great customer service. There's all these pieces to that. So I think that's
Exactly.
relevant for sure. When it comes to, say, leveraging influencers, do you recommend doing that with the?
Exactly. I would recommend doing that. It's quite cheap to get influencers on board. It's quite cheap. It's super cheap, I would say. Why? Now let me tell you one reason. First, you're not paying them upfront. So you need to be very smart and very cunning with influencers, because these influencers have got tantrums. We talk to influencers all the time and they're, we're going to do this way, we're going to do that way. And you say, my way or highway. Why is that? Because at the end of the day, you are spending money. Okay. Try making your influencers as your affiliate marketers than the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Don't pay them upfront, because see, most of the influencers, what they have is fake followers. Now you go and see somebody is having 10,000, 20,000 followers, but if you actually check, those followers are useless. And then if you're paying them something upfront, you're making a fool out of yourself. And if they're charging for upfront, give them an offer. Okay, if they're so adamant that we want upfront fee, so in that case, what you can do is they say, okay, just for 2 months, just show me exactly you are valuable. If I
Mm.
think your traffic is valuable, I am going to pay you 20% extra than what you're asking at the moment, but I'm not going to pay you a dime until you show me your worth. And if you say that, you guys are reasonable, because they are selling there's something and you are selling something at the end of the day. So it's a fair bargain. So
Mm.
when two reasonable people are talking, it's going to make sense. Only those people are going to get aggravated or angry is somebody who knows that his followership is fake. That is the only person who's going to get angry, and he will say that, no, I am not going to do this thing. And that is what happens. So you need people like Laura to help you find relevant people, and obviously people like us, maybe we can help you with that, but we rely more on paid ads.
You mentioned earlier in other conversations that you guys are doing conferences and getting in front of
Yeah,
large groups and collecting other influential marketers to be a part of that. So
exactly.
there's a lot of different ways to show up and make sure people know about you for sure.
Yes, actually, it's kind of one big event you do, and when people are engaged with you all the time, it good. See, MarketSquads spends a lot in branding exercises every year.
Mm.
So yeah, so branding. See, it's digital marketing now. everybody's having a digital marketing agency. I mean, it's not a secret. And most of the marketers I see are like, they don't know about marketing. So in that case, we have to brand ourselves. We have to brand ourselves so big. And for that, we have to invest. So we are investing a lot because we are making a lot of money. And that's why we prefer investing once or twice a year. This year, we couldn't do our conference because of coronavirus, of course. But I think during December time, we might do a digital conference because we are in no mood to do a conference, a physical conference for about a year or two until we get the vaccines out. So we have to make sure that we are pretty much protected first, and then we'll think about other things.
Mhm.
But we'll be doing digital conferences for now, and I think they're more easy as well because this year MarketSquads has to bear a lot of loss because of coronavirus. But because our clients and everything pay us a lot of big fee and everything, so we are kind of managed that sort of hit. Uh, but that's a good thing. But we'll be coming to a lot of people in December's time with a digital conference. It's a much nominal fee compared to what we're charging. Obviously, there is a cost involved, so we have to get that cost out first.
Yeah, absolutely. With everything going on Zoom and webinars and Facebook Lives and all these other things that are now
I mean, first, as a consumer, you need to be very smart. I am part of a lot of good digital marketing groups with millions and millions of people in it, and I am part of a lot of. So I see what they talk about. There are serious marketers involved, and there are some marketers who think that they are marketers. And they are two different things. 90% people think they are marketers, but they are not. But they can be if they fail a lot every day. So we at MarketSquads, we were not like, best marketers, innate capabilities, nothing like that. We fail hundred of times before reaching to a certain points. And because we always, as I mentioned, that we don't like working with a lot of startups, we worked with these big giant companies. So they give you chances to fail.
Mhm.
So we failed and we still fail. It's not the matter of fact. But arrogance is something, when you think you're the best and you don't want to learn, that's when you are not first, you're not making a sustainable business for yourself, and most importantly, you are making your buyers feel bad about you. You are breaking the relationship, you're burning the bridge. I don't want to do that. I would rather say no to a client than to take his money and do nothing for him.
Yes,
so
absolutely. Well,
so
and
this
there's that credibility. And I think the most challenging piece of being a marketer in general, being in it as long as I have, the bottom line is that technology is changing almost every day, and we are having to adapt almost every day to these new technologies, to these new findings, solutions, and it is a continual testing field for, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this summit is to find people like yourself who
to have
have.
a summit funnel, right? I was just actually reading about some summit funnels um, last night only, because every day I get to see more examples about summit funnels and every other funnel, because there are so many funnel types possible: book funnels, summit funnels. So I mean, I was like, I have a interview with Laura, and I am like learning about summit funnels, and because I have a lot of examples, because we do get all those templates with us all the time, because templates are more important and easy to start with than building. So we are funnel hackers.
Well, there's actually an expert out there that is called the funnel
Russell.
hacker.
Yeah, I know. So I have learned a lot. I have taken Russell's courses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have taken his courses. I use ClickFunnels. I read his books, Expert Secrets, Funnel Secrets, .com Secrets. Actually, that's called .com Secrets. And
Yeah.
now this is one, Traffic Secrets. And now I'm currently reading Copywriting Secrets.
Hmm.
But that's not Russell's, but it's part of there. So I read books a lot. So that's how we know what we know
Yeah.
initially. And so yeah, Russell is like the funnel builder. So he gave this idea in his training, because he arranges these funnel hacking live sessions all the time. So I've attended few of them. So these are amazing. He's an amazing guy, and
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully, you'll bring him one day on this side of type of summit.
Well, I ended up getting part of the summit is with Steve Larson, and Steve Larson happens to be one of his right-hand men. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
he's good.
he's good. The last thing I'd really like to cover in this with you is creating these online courses, which are becoming kind of that hot commodity at the moment,
Yeah,
relevant,
yeah,
and the funnel towards those, and maybe tools that you like using for
yes.
creating the courses and things like that.
So there are so many tools and availables. Teachable.com is one good tool. What I prefer for courses, and I've got actually business coaches for whom we're doing marketing, sales coaches, and we're doing marketing for them as well. What a typical funnel should look like would be first again bringing them something for free, obviously a guide or something in the first phase, so you can capture the email, so you don't have to spend a lot of money in retargeting them. The only time you should retarget is when they don't leave the email. This is the most important point, and you should not retarget a lot, because again you are spending a lot of money. You should spend most money to get those leads in, then you should use email marketing to again get them moved through this funnel. The second would be a complementary course. It should not be a core course actually. It should be a course which is kind of giving everything in fast track way. Okay, and it should be very you should be charging minimum fees such as $10, $15, $20, $30. Don't go overboard that. Don't go overboard than 50 actually, so that at least they, and then give them enough value in them. So we talk about the rule. So once you have like 50, sort of, for example, you're charging $50 for a very introductory course, you should actually giving them value of $500. You should show them that this is I'm going to give you, this is I'm going to give you, and this is, and everything. We'll talk about the automation in a bit. The third step would be a core course, where it should be like a $1,000, because now they know you. They've already bought something from you. Now you can pitch them your core product, which could be anywhere near $1,000 to $2,000. If you're giving right value, they're going to buy it. And if you have given value in those $50, they're going to buy it, because now they know that if you're charging $2,000, they'll be getting a value of 20,000.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that's the typical case. Then in the third stage of the funnel, because we are here to increase the value, lifetime value of a consumer. In the third stage, for example, I took your course, I took both of your courses, okay, but still I'm not feeling that confident. Why? Just not because the course was bad. It was that I have got certain areas which I have to work on. Okay. So in that case, they should connect with you personally, one-on-one session like this, what we are having now. Okay. So then that should actually be of it could be a very good upsell of about $3,000 to $4,000, where you give them like 5 or 6 sessions where they are asking you their questions and you are solving them. So this is, and then downsells, joining your community. Like for example, in Russell Skills, because we're talking about, he has got this inner circle. Okay, so you join that circle, so you get recurring income for that, and see how you increased the value here. From
And
$50 you started,
sure.
you made $2,000, then you made again what amount? $4,000 for like 4 sessions or 30 minutes of your time. I mean, 30 minutes and into 4, it's going to be 2 hours. Then you're getting a recurring for asking you questions again and again in a Slack group. It's going to be a paid Slack group. Just see how much you can spend on ads now. Just give me a number. You won't mind spending on ads, do you?
Oh,
Not
right.
at all. And all your competitors, what will be they thinking? That she's spending so much money. How can she? We cannot do it. She's selling the same product. But unless they see your funnel, they're not going to know the secret. Obviously, after this video, they will. But
Well, and that's the idea, is that we get one of either our $50 offer or our $1,000 offer, where we really do get to leverage our time, so that
exactly,
most of the course they can learn on their own, and they can just go through it
exactly.
while we're sleeping, basically. And
Yes,
then
and everything needs to be automated. So ClickFunnels is the best tool. Obviously, no doubt about it. I think most people have got budget constraints, because we talk to these people every day. GetResponse is another good tool. It's not as effective as ClickFunnels. Lead pages is again, but again, you need a comprehensive tool altogether. So yeah, GetResponse gives you a decent. HubSpot again, but again, you have to go to higher ends for buying ClickFunnels and HubSpot. It's not you guys can afford it when you're just starting out. So obviously these are the relevant tools. Teachable is good platform, and yeah, that's it. I think I only go with best platforms. So Teachable is thing. I prefer Teachable more, and ClickFunnels obviously. And what else? I mean, HubSpot you can go, but if you have this inbound approach, okay, uh, and that's a different topic. But today we should stick to funnels, and for funnels, ClickFunnels is the best. This is what I believe. And Teachable, you go for Teachable, and there are other platforms. So also, apart from Russell, you should follow this other guy when it comes to paid advertising, which is Billy Jean. I have taken his classes as well, so I know. So they both pretty much talk about the same things, but in a different way altogether. I mean, Russell talks more about funnels, but then Billie Jean has got this bird eye view of when he talks about ads. It's up to you guys. You need right mentors, and if you don't want to go to Billie Jean or anyone, you can go to Laura, and she's going to help you. And that's it. From my end, I think I have pretty much given a lot of value to the audience
Yes,
because
very much.
yeah,
Thank you.
it's kind of yeah. It's Sunday here, and we are talking, and we are talking about marketing because that's fun for us. When you
Right.
love something, you love it. I mean, you just do it all the time.
Yes. And we will have some links for them. Are there any specific courses or anything that you would really love to share?
I will soon be sharing a very low end product. I mean, in terms of pricing, obviously, a focused digital marketing strategy, which I'm thinking to start with Udemy at the moment. Yeah, I mean, why to invest a lot of money? But then it's going to take them to a much higher course, which is again going to be on Teachable, which I just talked. So just to get a lot of people in my funnel. And so this is but then also you guys can go ahead and talk to me personally, a free 30-minute consultation. When you go to marketsquads.com, I talk to you, we decide a time, and mutually obviously you'll get my calendar link. And if you can book a meeting for 30 minutes, I just talk about your business. What are the possible kings in your sales funnel and your strategy? We'll talk about those things. So it's going to be free, so you can use it. You can call me up and you'll find it out. And if you want us to do it, obviously get MarketSquads services. But again, I'm not pitching you those things unless I give you value in those 30 minutes. That's a promise, because I give you enough value that you want me, I don't want you. That's kind of a scenario which we build in those 30 minutes, because we know what we're doing. And I think this is just a synopsis what we're talking about, but we do some magical stuff when we are at MarketSquads, and we do a lot of stuff. And hopefully you'll hear more about MarketSquads. In the UK, people know a lot MarketSquads because of obviously our events, kind of influencers we do have. But I really want to be in LA in coming years. My goal is to get there so I can compete with Neil Patel. Yeah, I think he has one
Great.
office in LA.
You may want to be in San Diego because we got Tim Ash and we got some other amazing
Actually,
people in San Diego too.
I pretty much love Hollywood. That's the reason why I want to be in LA. There's no Neil Patel factor.
You're going to be a funnel hacking
No, no, that's up to Russell. I'm gonna
superstar.
make no. I will talk more about strategy because
Well,
nobody's gonna see
you'll have
me.
to become a member of our superstar client generator club.
Okay, I will be. So how to sign up?
That's right. Facebook groups. Yeah.
Still alive.
All right. Well, thank
I,
you, Viplove.
it was
Such a
my pleasure.
pleasure. Really
You're doing a
appreciate
really
you.
great job.
Thank you.
Doing a really great job. I hope people will actually take this very seriously and go through each session completely, take notes. That's the
Hmm.
most important part, because if you're not taking notes, I mean, we still do take notes. We don't have ego problems. Russell, we learn from Tony Robbins, we learn from a lot of people out there.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, yeah, so we take notes. So I have always my notebook open when I'm listening to even their YouTube videos.
Right.
So hopefully people learn it and are doing a fantastic job. and love to see your funnel going in a very good direction.
Yes, me too. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Viplove. You have a great day and really appreciate you being here.
Okay, thank you.